All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to be looking at basically the smaller of the AI stocks, okay? We're going to look at Big Bear AI, Guard Force AI, as well as Bullfrog AI. I'm going to cover Soundhound here and there for sure. Maybe I'll even throw it in the end if timing isn't wild. But look, I don't know if you watch my other videos or not, but I've been covering the quantum sector for really the last 2, 3 weeks maybe. It's been going as hot as this AI sector, and really obviously a lot of ways connected, right? There were four tickers I was looking at. Two of them, I'll show it really quickly. Two of them did really well really early. QUBT, you can see it starts taking off basically right in October and then just runs from $1 to $8, right? Big numbers. The other one was IonQ. Roughly that same October, you can even argue a little bit before, still in September, right? But IonQ makes big moves basically from 6 to 35, quick 6x right there too, right? The point of the video was, hey, don't feel bad that you missed those. Look in the sector and find the ones that haven't taken off yet. All right, September, nothing's happening. October, nothing's really happening. It's starting, but really it's now just taking off, right? With this one, QBTS was the other one. Nothing happening in September, nothing happening in all of October. Really, it was in November, big 26% day to day, right? Like, don't feel bad that you missed it. Don't feel bad that you got far back. I gotta zoom out, right? Right here. In 2023, it finally broke all five, and I mean flew, right? This thing did its own little 7x move over all the moving averages, right? Just a lot more stable and sustained, right? Don't feel bad that you missed that 7x, right? With Soundhound, don't feel bad that you missed this 5 to what, 13? Don't do that. Look for the ones that haven't gone yet, and you can see it, right? And like, let's just look at Soundhound one more time. Kind of getting into the details, but you get the point, right? This thing kind of starts in October, definitely starts going in November onward. You know, I talked about that line a while, right? BBAI was doing absolutely nothing in October and November. It was kind of these last couple weeks where it started going, right? When you look at Guard Force AI, really the last couple weeks, otherwise it was flat and actually going down while the other ones were going up, right? And then the last one, which is BFRG, Bullfrog, this one's actually doing significantly worse than those other two. And again, for me, it's just look at it, keep eyes on it. Oh, it's starting to move after hours. I know that blue thing, it's not, but that bid went up. It hasn't filled yet. But yeah, again, just this one's under all five right now, kind of regaining one maybe. But again, I think it's, can this start to copy what the sector's doing? All right. The important thing across all of it, the important thing across everything I just said, NASDAQ has to keep doing well. All right, NASDAQ is still looking good. Obviously, today was a little baby red day, but hey, we're still holding well over 50%. I'm still seeing the greens over reds that I want to in the MACD and the RSI. We still got a pretty healthy number right there. I am cool with that actually, right? Looking at the S&P 500, a little uglier, I would say. I think this lost way more of yesterday than I wanted it to. And you know that's going to give me a little bit of a worry. But hey, I think these are all very heavy NASDAQ. And as long as NASDAQ's doing okay, that's probably going to be my main focus. All right. So, oh, and then last thing before I go into the intro, the FOMC meeting is in about 2 weeks. Okay, Powell has the ability to make the index go crazy up or lose moving averages when it shouldn't in other like moments. You know what I mean? The Nasdaq still looks good. I literally just said it a second ago. Right? Oh, not Compass. How does Compass look? No, we can ignore Compass. Comp Q. I am still really liking this. In 13 days after the FOMC meeting, there's a real good possibility that this thing goes crazy up, or all of a sudden we're back to the golden line when we really otherwise wouldn't, maybe even below, right? So just keep that in your back pocket. But hopefully, the next couple trading days, almost the next 2 weeks of trading, hopefully we can just maintain the technicals and still feel comfortable with tech overall, all right? So cool. Excited for this one for sure. But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. Excuse me. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so thankful for it, all right? So let's talk about BBAI, and we've been doing it a bunch on the Discord, actually, and one sec, I know it was here, because I also, right here. So there was a headline a couple days ago, and this was literally word for word copy and paste. You can see it was published on the 3rd. Someone was saying BBAI has the ability to become the next Palantir, okay? And look, I saw the headline, okay? I think it's extreme, but hey, I'm not here for it to be true. I'm not here for it to, oh, I literally say it right here. It doesn't have to be true. It just needs to be bringing attention and volume, right? It's brought and it's held volume, okay? Since the 3rd, before I zoom out, this was the 3rd right here, 12.3. That was the big volume pop. That was the hold. As I zoom out, okay, this is the entire, not even pretty much. Let's just go right here. I'm just counting the candles this hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These two are arguably the 7th or 8th biggest trading days in history of the stock, okay? And it's relatively sustaining that, right? I know I see it going down. Trust me, I obviously see that, right? But we got big volume brewing right here. And that is what a headline like this does. When you can connect a BBAI to a next level Palantir, I just showed it, right? Palantir is pushing $70. When you're going to compare a 70, like it's insulting to Palantir in a little bit of a way, right? But when you're going to compare and connect a $70 stock to a $2.80 something cent stock, look, it's amazing for BBAI. True or not, that's not our problem, right? That's a good headline to ride, and it's doing the job. It's bringing the attention. It's bringing this. It's bringing that. Today was interesting, and really it was driven very much by SoundHound. Oh my gosh, SoundHound is destroying it after hours. You break a golden line and good things happen. You hear me always say that, right? But SoundHound is still pushing. And there are a lot of people that right now are wondering, will these two follow? Because again, I mentioned the quantum stocks, right? When you look at QUBT, the monster move really happens from here to here. You can even call it from November till now, right? The ION Q1, this one is a lot closer to the end of September, and again, just very sustained and right there, right? RGTI, completely dead while that last one was going up. You can kind of say maybe following QUBT, but QUBT had a better slope at some point too, right? So there were people that missed that, and hey, all of a sudden this slope is starting to get a little bit better, right? The easier example was QBTS. This thing is now starting to pick up, and this thing was very much flat the entire time before that, right? So it's a matter of, is the sector strong enough to carry the stock? I think BBAI got a little bit extra love from the news. I really do, right? Just connecting it to Palantir. But hey, this thing is overall the moving averages. That's a relatively healthy 72. MACD is looking positive. And hey, that on its own is a pretty sustainable growth right there. We're starting to get a little pumpy. I'm hoping it can sustain a little bit more. Obviously 3 days is decent, but you know what I mean, right? So as we look at Guard Force, it's not quite the same thoughts on the technical side, right? Because look, with BBAI is actually, well, you know what? Let me finish BBAI and I'll separate them. I think they're separate enough to do it. So let me look at the weekly really quickly. Look, with BBAI, we are over all the moving averages on the weekly. Sorry, not moving. We are over all the moving averages on the daily. That's a strong combo right there, right? So this thing has news, this thing has technicals. Soundhound is still going. If this can get over 314, my next line's actually all the way up here at 5. Because there are nothing but down, 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 up, red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 nothing, 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 right? So that's a real big line to break, and you can see we actually tested it at some point today, okay? I would say as long as we're, really, let's 250. As long as this thing is over 250, this is a bullish ticker. Hopefully it goes up. I would start getting worried if we lost 250 for sure. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. GFAI. So look, guard force. This is a nice setup in a lot of ways, all right? But I would say BBAI was just a little better. BBAI is actually over all the moving averages, right? This one quite isn't, but there are beautiful red, 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 red to green, 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 green channels really setting up right here, all right? So real quick, please, if you can subscribe, if you can share, oh man, it does wonders with these algorithms. So let's just zoom back really quickly, all right? And oh man, let's delete those lines. There is no point in having lines up there when we're all the way down here, right? So I'm zooming out, I'm zooming out, I'm zooming out. We're looking at the whole stock's life, right? This has pretty much been under all the moving averages its entire life, okay? There was a decent sustained climb to the 200. Obviously, it failed it, but hey, that's not too bad. That's hopefully what we're kind of trying to mimic right now. Okay, that's really the goal, because hey, there were these pumps and dumps, pumps and dumps, pumps and dumps. That's a lot less pumpy, right? Hopefully we can kind of do the same thing, okay? The next thought really just is, my goodness, all the way to basically here is nothing more than red, 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 red. Okay, the other line I would have probably drawn is somewhere in here, and I can pretty much already see that's where the 200 moving average is. So I'm just going to completely ignore that, right? So to me, there is just a green, green, green escalator seemingly all the way to the 200 moving average, okay? The bigger concerns actually down here in volume. And again, this is where you got to decide what's going to come tomorrow. This is a little more 50-50 than I'd want it to be. But look, is this going to pump? Because this was a pump, right? We were down here. We were barely at 1 million. All of a sudden, we 4x it today, right? Are we going to pump and dump and come back down to the realities of 500K shares a day like we're normal, right? Like, are we going to lose 75% of the volume? Or is the green, green, green elevator going to help bring volume and you know, hold, sustain, and maybe try to do what BBAI did, right? This was a pump. This went from 10 to 50. That was a 5x jump. Hey, lo and behold, we've been holding it the last couple days, allowing us to maintain the uptrend, right? Maybe Guard Force AI can start doing the same thing. Maybe this was the first of that 3, right? And hey, if the red, red to green, green, green elevator comes, I'm talking about a 30% move here, right? We're talking about adding more, 50 cents more on a stock that only has 3 sets of those, right? So give me another 50 cents. That's more than a $2 target, actually, because this thing's all the way up at like 215, right? Maybe it'll come to like 210 tomorrow, but yeah, I could see 210 actually very much hitting on Guard Force. And again, keep an eye on SoundHound. You know I don't trust after hours too much. I really don't. But hey, when you break a golden line, oh my goodness. And this is only the first candle. We do need to confirm, and I'll talk about SoundHound in a sec, right? But Guard Force, it has the channel, okay? It has the 4x, that we saw that on BBAI. It just can't dump. Look, MACD and RSI both have the green over red, and they're both starting to diverge. They're both starting to go up with the green and stay flat with the red. MACD is positive. I know 76 is a little high, but it's at least not 80, and we've seen good sectors push beyond 80, right? So the daily is there. The weekly has the same channel as well, right? The weekly comes to 225 if it can go from the 20 to the 50, we literally have that same number, give or take a couple pennies from the 100 to the 200, right? So these are both setting up. And again, if you missed the SOUNDHOUND and the Palantir runs, look in the sector for the copycats. That's the goal as long as NASDAQ holds, all right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Look, I'm not going to spend too much time. Let me just flash it really quick. Bullfrog. Bullfrog. This one is definitely doing a little, let's see, has it filled anything after that? It's starting to creep a little bit. This one's below all five as of yesterday, right? Today it gave a little peak that it wanted to go to the 20, but hey, it at least took a little bit on that 8, right? I love this stock. I would love this stock over 280. I think 280 is a real easy money line. It looks like it's about half of that candle too. Over the 200 from there, I mean, it's 3 something and beyond, right? We've seen big volume on this stock before. We clearly haven't seen too much in a good while, right? So yeah, this one is at least worth keeping on the radar, but I would at least easily say this one's definitely not as good as the others, right? MACD is negative, but again, this one might be the freshest of the freshest because those other ones are running, and maybe that's where some eyes want to come, right? So let me know your thoughts here. It was quick, but hey, why not? So let's take a look at SOUNDHOUND really quickly, okay? And I'm going to flash this. I'm not pretending that I didn't say this in the Discord. Look, I said it early. Banking some profits around here isn't a bad idea on SOUNDHOUND, okay? The one reason that I said that is the way that we've been reacting to the 8 moving average, okay? So there is something you always hear me say. You go away from the 8 and you come to the 8. You go away from the 8 and you come to the 8. That happens on the way up and it happens on the way down. There are 2 ways of coming back to the 8, all right? This way, what we're seeing on SOUNDHOUND is it goes up and then comes back down to it. Goes up and then back down to it. It goes up and then back down to it. We've now gone up, and I'm just a little concerned that we're going to come back down to about $12 as we wait for the 8 moving average to catch up, and then once again use it to bounce and go, okay? The other way, SoFi. Yep, look at this. It goes away from the 8, it horizontally comes back to the 8, and then it goes away from the 8, and then it horizontally comes back to the 8, and then it goes away from the 8, and then it horizontal, right? Like, it doesn't come back down like that. It doesn't come back down like that. It doesn't come back down like that, right? So at the moment, look, we've broken all 5 and flown, all right? We broke this 520 line and flew, right? I'm still seeing it go up and come back to the 8 as opposed to SoFi's go up and come to the 8, go up. And so there is a point where that changes, right? You can see it. SoFi went up and then back to it. But like, it improved to the up and across. I can't make that assumption on SoFi. Yo, there was a real good comment yesterday talking about $18 and just saying, believe in it and perceive it and this and that. Look, I'm here trying to keep the rules and the technicals, even in a crazy hot market, as close to reality and expectations as I can, all right? I have to assume we're going to go away from the 8 and back down to the 8 until I can see it. Now, you can maybe make the argument that it's not coming down as hard, but again, that's not as horizontal. Like, that came down and then went back up, right? So just a view of still bouncing on the 8 like a champion, you know what I mean? But when you can start looking at little minute details like that, I do think you can, do that a bunch of times really well over your trading career and it'll add up, right? Again, I see it going up post-market. I do. I know we are over my golden line, but this is for sure just a single candle. We for sure need to still confirm it, right? But at the moment, if I had to put a confirmation number on it, I would say here. We need to close at 1380 tomorrow. If this can close at 1380 tomorrow, we will actually have, oh, where's my zoom? Right here. We will actually have broken and confirmed the golden line, okay? One thing that I can see happening, because I do think it happened with SoFi. Man, it barely did. That's a bad example. Let's go to high tide. Let's go to high tide. You get over the golden line, come back to it, and then retake off. I think that was a lot of weeks that it took for it to do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if soundhound does do that. Just goes above it, confirms, come back down, and go, give or take. Otherwise, again, NASDAQ still doing well. This is over the golden line. I mean, the technicals, hey, we finally got over that 79 RSI. It took me a while to look down there, but hey, we finally got over it, right? So we're in the 80s. We've seen things push 80 to 90s. I think as long as nothing crazy happens in 13 days, yeah, this'll the all time. There's no I never tell people what to do with their money. All right. I always say all-time highs is better than all-time lows. Don't go bottom chasing all-time lows, averaging down, averaging down. Cross the golden line, cross all-time highs, confirm it, and man, that's where you should actually start thinking about averaging up, okay? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Oh, I appreciate you all so much.